gosh. Tell you. I spent my weekend in Savannah with some family members. And one of them was a kindergarten.
She had pretty dog again?
She didn't have She just spoke really quietly and everybody got quiet. And we were finishing up a meal and they had the band playing and she said, shh, everybody, a moment of silence. It's the Luigi. I've never heard a kindergarten teacher put those together, nor see a group of 50-year-olds. Stop talking and just start group welcome April 4th team meeting here in this lovely, beautiful Milwaukee weather. So excited everybody's here and not drowned out on the road. Please be careful as you're traveling today. Not quite sure how long this is going to last. And yet I hear all day and things like wind and hail and all that good beautiful spring weather here in Milwaukee. So, and it's not snowing, correct. We're gonna start our meeting today with our mission, vision, values, just like we do every Tuesday. And today I'm going to take the moment to share a little bit of something that I really like. We started this last week. We talked about we're here. I want to focus in on the part of the mission statement. The mission statement that says lives worth living, right? I don't know about anybody else, but as we're in this spring breaky kind of time, 1 week, 2 week run up to some holidays, my Facebook feed has been flooded with people who are apparently living their best life and are on spring break and spending time with their families and prioritizing relationships and growth and things that matter to them. This to me is the core of what we're doing. Real estate is such an exciting and entrepreneurial field because we get to determine what our big why is, and then we see the results of what happens when we put the work in. I am well aware that this is a challenging time for people out there. Do not forget that these are the results that we see. And even if you don't see them today or next week or next month, they come do the work. I just encourage you to do that. And build your life that's worth living, right? So that's my vision moment for today. I also wanted to welcome you up, have a little update on our big wig. But you don't have the big wig right now.
Well, I'm washing it off, believe it or not.
Okay.
So the other one that's up there on our mission statement is experience is worth giving. So what I'm here to do is thank you. You may not recognize me without my pink hair, but thank you. We all were tasked with about a $5,000-ish goal, and the 9 of us raised $2,000.
Wow.
About us, it's about you and giving and how much I appreciate it, and my family and my loved ones, that and your families and your loved ones. So, thank you.
Thank you. Great work. Great work. All right. Before we move, got something downstairs. James, you're going to see me later. Welcome. We have a handful of welcomes to do to our office. First is Jared. You're going to have to cheer head.
Zillies.
Jared Zillies has joined us last week. New licensee is going to dive in and have experiences for today. Excited for him. And then we also want to welcome 2 agents, Abigail and Emily. You may have seen them around our office. They do work out here from time to time. Just felt that this would be a great place for them to make their home base. So because of all of you, you create this welcoming, amazing culture, which all of our academies have, and everybody finds their fit. So welcome Abigail and Emily to our office. All right. And then, of course, whoops, there's Jared again. We want to congratulate those who are not only in this market, but are succeeding. So here's some Capper congratulations. Here's to Chris, Wendy Cap. And James. Yes, I might have something for you on my desk downstairs. Which I should have caught up here, but I didn't. Dawn, come on up. We're gonna dive into some compliance.
Yeah, next, I don't have a ton today, because you know, we've got a action-packed meeting as well. But GMAR has announced that April is Professional Courtesies Month. So a lot of the questions that we get on the compliance line are actually more, they're kind of like ethics questions as much as they are compliance questions. So you're always welcome to call if you have questions about current cause, or you know, what do I do with this situation. They're actually, GMAR is hosting a Zoom on Thursday, April 20th in the morning about professional standards issues that are impacting the real estate industry. So there was a link that went out to register. So if you're interested in that, it was in the GMAR weekly newsletter from the end of March. So if that's one to find out, they're having a panel with some information about things that we're seeing in the market and how to respond to that. And then a shout out to our own Kelly, who was named as a code of ethics champion by GMAR. So ethical.
I'm super ethical, so I will yell at you if you're not.
Those champions are recognized as those who go out of their way to make sure that their real estate practice operates with the highest standards of integrity in the industry. So, Kelly. So if you run into any ethics questions in your practice, the compliance line can help with that too. So you can call or text with questions about ethics issues in addition to compliance general. That's all.
Thank you, Dawn.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Coming up. And I'm gonna, just in support of Dawn and the work that our compliance brokers do, one of the #1 complaints we hear, not about our agents, but about other agents, is picking up the phone. Pick up the phone, and just an underlying, again, so many problems can be solved when you have a conversation. Context is missing when you text. Text is great for those short little informational exchanges. If you have something that you think may be a little bit more in need of context, use the phone and pick it up with somebody's phone. That's my plug to help professional development. All right, and now we're going to move over to tech and education with Kathleen Rutan. We've got some great pieces to help you that professional in the market.
Hi, hello. So today we're talking about how you can grow your database, and it just got even easier with an update that they made to the Commands app. So I know everybody's seen this chart. Basically what it says is once you hit that 200 contact mark, you're more than, I think, 3 times more likely to then hit your cap, right? So if you're wanting to know where your business is, it's going to be in your database, which means we have to keep growing our database. So what they've now implemented is in the Command app, okay, you can pull in all of your contacts from your phone straight into Command. So there's no more having to download a spreadsheet and then upload it into Command, or having to use an app to get the contacts out of your phone. You can just do it from inside the Command app now. Okay, so basically you go into the contacts, there's a button that says import contacts, and that'll bring up all of the contacts that are already in your phone. You can pick and choose who you would like to import into Command, or you could always check select all and just move everybody into your Command database. And then you just hit continue and boom, they'll be transferred over. Yeah.
All right, so hopefully I'm not jumping ahead, but so like when I first came to KW, I did the whole spreadsheet with all my contacts, but if I do this now, will it redo everybody that I already did? Or is there a way to just pick out the people that, yeah.
So Command will take out any duplicate emails or phone numbers. So if it's going to look at those contacts, if you already have that phone number or email address in your database, it would reject the upload. Does that make sense? So it will only pull in people who you don't have a phone number or email address existing in your database for.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah. So we're all about QR codes. If you haven't downloaded the KW Command app, please do so. This is your mobile version of Command. This is how you can take Command with you out into when you're doing your business. So please download the Command app and get logged in. Just a plug, for the month of April, we're focusing on seminars. And this Thursday at 11 via Zoom, Lindsay and I are going to be talking about the best seminars. this is all coming from the seminar playbook that was released at Family Reunion. So we're gonna have a really good conversation about which seminars to plug into, especially this time of year. I see a lot of people doing first-time homebuyer seminars, but there are different seminars we can brainstorm around as well. And then one last thing, don't forget, we do have a YouTube channel. There's a QR code if you want direct access. It's at Keller Williams Realty Milwaukee. All of our contract trainings, team meetings, marketing, the command trainings that we're doing, anything that's on Zoom will also be on this YouTube channel in like another day or two. Make sure you're getting on there regularly.
Okay, great. Thank you, Kathleen. You're gonna see Kathleen up here a little bit later when we talk about some events that are coming. Oh my gosh, here we are. I hope you're hearing a theme as we bring these meetings to you, and they are all about getting business. Last week, we talked about, what did we talk about last week? Oh, we talked about the golden letter, right? And reaching out to our people and making sure that our sphere knows us and is ready to act when they have, with us, when they have a real estate need. The week before, we did MOFers and how to connect with our database in ways that get them to act right now, where we can work to find the motivated. The conversation about tech, the app, bringing your contacts in gives you the opportunity to reach as many people as you can in this market right now to make sure you're generating the business that you need to get your goals. Even the talking about maximizing seminars for lead generation growth. We talk, people have a certain bandwidth that they can one-on-one do. There are only so many appointments that you can go on one-on-one to generate business or to close a deal. The more you can get one-to-many, that one-to-many relationship, the bigger your business can grow exponentially. If seminars are your thing, if client events are your thing, if you sponsor something and you get a list, you are maximizing your opportunity for exposure across your lead gen sources. And then what do you do for your lead gen sources? Right now, one of the things we know is that our inventory is a problem. It's challenging us, right? And anytime I hear problem, just my background is, oh, you mean opportunity, right? Yes, let's turn it to a positive. What is our opportunity to generate inventory in the market? So when I sat down and I asked the leadership team, you know, who are our lead gen people in the office, our rock stars that can share what they've done and how they've grown, these three people were mentioned. So we reached out and they said that they would be more than willing to come and chat about how they've done business. Come on up, you guys. We're excited to welcome. So one of the things I want you to be thinking about as they're talking is being a lead gen expert can be in quantity and it can be in quality or the segmentation of your business. So sometimes it means having a lead in business, buyer seller. Sometimes it means really good at diving into heavy listing, right? And sometimes it's about having more business come from it. So, is it comfortable? Is everybody having a good time? Okay, awesome. So I provided them some questions beforehand. We're just going to go down the row and kind of chat about what these questions are. And the first one, they said we can start with you. Sure. You provide an overview of your business and what typical lead generation is like.
Sure. So I handle anywhere from 45 to 55 transactions a year to the last 5 years. 85% or so are repeat and referral transactions. And the way that has been accomplished is 36 touch. So I came to Keller Williams 5 years ago. This is my 10th year in the business. So 5 years ago, I really started in real estate. And so I started implementing 36 touch. I actually started staying in contact with people, implementing the DTD2 quarterly events, from your friends' mailers, lots of social media touches. And then also in the past year or two, I also added that I provide everyone in my database a quarterly value report from RPR so they could see what's happening with the home's value. So it's just like I keep on stacking onto it. And just keep on more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
Never been less.
Never been less. That's, yes. And one of the things that I've heard in this market center, so I'm gonna share it, if you've heard this before. You never want to kind of do something that you can't scale, because you are gonna have more clients and you want to make sure that you're outgrowing that, right? This year particularly, with the inventory being a little bit different, is there, what have you done? Or how have you thought about your lead gens and
Sure, so, I did decide to try something new for this year, so I did sign on with 72 Sold. So some of you maybe have looked into that, you know, when it was mentioned at Mega Camp. So I am 72 Sold certified. I have been paying for seller leads. Now, I paid for, they're doing them in 2-month chunks, so I paid for January and February. But unfortunately, we lost a couple agents in the area, and so we do not have an ad buy for February and March. So my plan for this year was to go all in on these 72 sold leads. I do have a number of them that I'm working through on top of my normal business, so I appreciate having those extra people added to my pipeline, and hoping that maybe, you know, talk to me if you're interested in learning more about that, because we do need a couple more people to do an ad buy for that. Got it.
we'll be doing a 72 sold any limiting beliefs around lead gen that you had to let go of?
I really had to work hard to convince myself over the years that people actually wanted to hear from me. So like, even though like I've never gotten a bad review, like my clients have always had a great experience, but then afterwards, like I used to be afraid, like, oh, what if something bad happened? Like they loved me when the transactions happened, but what if there was a problem with their house and now they're mad at it? So like I had to really get out of my own way in terms of that, and understand that like I think about it, like people call you too, like, you know, maybe not as often as they should, but people call you too. You don't get upset when they call you, typically. So yeah, so I just had to remember that people like me. I did a good job for them, and it's not a bad thing that I'm calling them. So
So would you say that's your overriding mindset with lead gen, or are there other pieces in it?
that was the main thing I had to get around, because most of my lead gen is centered around talking to people I already know. They're not gonna be upset that I'm calling.
Okay, so we're gonna do the we're gonna do the first set of questions first, and then we'll go into the.
Sure.
Okay, awesome. So Jeff, I'm gonna go to you now. Kind of describe your lead gen over the years.
Yeah. So when I first started, I was like 23, 24. So the majority of my database was like high school friends, buddies who probably weren't going to buy or sell at that time. So I had to choose a form of lead generation that would find sellers or clients quickly to build my database. So I chose to do expired. I used to be at a different office where there were a few people there that did the same thing that I learned from. So I kind of took on the morning routine of from like about 8 to 11, doing phone calls every morning. Finding sellers is like the main lead generation.
And when we think about this year, have you done anything differently with your lead gen?
Yeah. So, for example, I mean, we're starting to see now, like it's still a seller's market. There were a lot of expireds that from like maybe November to January, February, and those are starting to go back to like only a couple of expired a day. So we're doing open houses. During the open houses, or actually sorry, before that, we will actually door knock the neighborhood with what their property could be worth, just using RPR data. And actually, Joe did this.
You're doing it for each individual house or just kind of general? Okay.
Yeah, so
So
like.
one,
we'll
two, three
do-
Main Street, 125 Main Street, once you have different reports where we have.
Accurate,
Okay.
because then they're like the. Like, me, not like everybody else.
It's not a flyer. It's not.
What's your answer?
Asked you.
Quick story on Jeff. I met him a couple weeks ago, just kind of, how are you? What's your life like? What can I do to support them? This first thing he said is, don't schedule anything between you. I've never heard that from him ever before, so. Yeah, love that. So he's living what he's speaking. Any limiting beliefs you've had to let go of to do what you're doing?
Yeah, so very similar to yours there. Like, in the beginning, I wish I called a lot of my friends and a lot of my family members, because I was like worried that if I called, they were gonna think I was like some kind of, you know, and I didn't want to look like that in front of my friends, but now I ask them for business all the time. And they're happy to do it.
All right, Tony, you know the drill.
Do.
Give us a little bit of your lead gen.
Okay, so and just the team dynamic, the Mindright Realty Group really focused on specialized individual organizations. So my role for the team is as the director of sales and listing specialist. So I do a lot of generation in general for buyers and sellers, but my specialty is really focused on the listing. Most of our lead generation, it revolves around our 36 touch. That's probably our number one focus as a team, has been since even before Keller Williams, know that we were already doing it. And then Keller Williams helped implement systems, models, processes to really get to the next level. I'd say about 70% of our business comes from referrals and repeat business because of our 36 type. And we are like laser focused on monthly mailers, monthly emails, quarterly magnets. We do at least 3, now we're upping it to 4 events a year for all of our forever clients and VIPs. Then I think a big component of the 36 touch people miss is you have to actually call them. Like a lot of people think, oh, I'm doing my 36 touch because you're sending out a monthly mailer or a monthly email. If you're not having a conversation with individuals once a quarter to just check in and see how they're doing and ask if they have any real estate goals or if they know anyone who has real estate goals, you're missing the pivotal catalyst to generate opportunities from.
In fact, back in the day, anything that didn't involve a direct conversation, we called just softening. It would be not going to get people to unless you follow up with that.
So we focus heavily on that. We also are very big on social media, having a social media presence to make sure that your friends and family and sphere that you're reaching out to and you're mailing and you're calling also sees some really awesome activity online. We're big in open houses. We convert at a pretty high level from our open houses, generating new opportunities from there. Then we also have a few third-party like referral sources, but it's definitely a lot of our sources. And then as far as like the day-to-day, similar to Jeff, my mornings are protected. 8 a.m. our entire sales team does script practice from about 8 to 8:30, and from 8:30 to approximately 10:30. And we don't really even call it lead gen because changing our mindset, we call it care calls and new opportunities. We're making care calls. Because I think when people think lead generation, it's very salesy and almost subconsciously, you don't want to lead gen. But if you're making care calls and you're just checking in on people and connecting with people, building relationships, having fun with it, it changes your whole, I guess, perspective on doing next.
It's finding new friends.
Finding
Every
new
day.
friends. Every day, every day. And that's especially powerful when you internalize your scripts.
Mhm.
Because if you make care calls and you're just talking to your buddy, the chance of you hanging up without saying, oh, right, what opportunities do you have?
Mhm.
Without sounding like, oh, right. Can be awkward. So you internalize those dialogues, you make a care call that those conversations come up naturally, and you sound like, what's new for this year?
What's new for this year?
Legion. Have you added anything? Thank you.
Yeah, we had, so for us, it was really, really building a better relationship with our members. And that was coming from my MAPS coach. She was asking some really good questions I didn't have answers to. You know, how many attempts does it take to have a conversation? How many conversations does it take to set the appointment? How many appointments do you have to set to actually complete the appointment? How many completed appointments do you need to sign the listing? How many signed listings turn into accepted offers? How many accepted offers turn into? So it was really building that relationship with our conversions to identify where are we amazing at, and we just need to pour gasoline on the fire, and where are the areas that we're really struggling that we need to, you know, find more opportunities.
Okay, good. Any new limiting beliefs that you had to give up?
Yeah, the limiting belief that the numbers that I was arriving at weren't possible. You know, when all of a sudden he's saying you have to have, and anyone here attend Bold, right? So 100 conversations a week, right? That's like the standard when you do Bold, and it seems overwhelming, and it seems like this, oh my God. And the thing is, we only do it when we're in Bold, but in all actuality, that's our goal. That's our number. Each individual salesperson is to have 100 real estate conversations. And when you really start to break it down, it's more than achievable. Anyone can do it, regardless of how busy you are, how much activity you have, or how many demanding clients you're dealing with. Anybody can have 100 real estate conversations. And I had to get over my limit. Like, oh, I'm so busy. You know, I'm running a team and doing this. There's no way I can maybe do 50. And my MAPS coach was like, well, then you're not going to hit your goals. If you're going to settle for 50, then you better settle on goals that you not have. So I had to tell them.
All right, we're gonna shift a little bit into the tactical and into this year particularly. Jeff, I'm gonna start with you. What common objections are you handling? What common objections are you hearing and how are you handling them this year?
I think my main objection terms, we all hear the same, you know, and all that stuff, but I think what I'm really running into is, while some are getting like referrals from the database, which is good, it's easier to close those. With my typical lead, I'm usually going up against other agents. So that's my really how I handle that is a lot of follow-up. I think a lot of agents lose opportunities because they have one conversation with them, and then because they didn't get it right there, they either forget about it or don't set up some kind of follow-ups. So one thing I can give that's going to make you stand out from everybody else is just to have some kind of follow-up system for all the decisions you have, whether it's ones that are going to be a week or two from now, or even 2 years from now. I think I've talked to sellers that for years that haven't sold yet, but they weren't expired like 3 years ago. So I would say that's really the biggest is.
Great. You've had the appointment, you've won the business, you have a listing. Are you doing anything different in the transaction to ensure their experience such that you get other business from this?
Yeah, so weekly conversations with the seller, whether there's news, no news, good news, it just keeps them in the loop. And it's, if you have to do if you have to ask for a price change, let's say, but if you don't talk to them for 3 weeks and then you want a price change, you're gonna look like that's all you want. But if you're calling them every week, you're establishing more and more rapport every time. They're gonna think that you're amazing, you're on top of it. And when you do ask for the price change, they're like, yeah, it's really not as big of a fight.
What you shared just made me think of when you make regular deposits in a bank, right?
Mhm.
Your
Exactly.
conversation, little by little by little, and when you have to make a withdrawal, you're doing a price change. You've built up that equity, that relationship. Tony, on to you. What common objections are you hearing and how are you handling?
So I think Beth made a great point. It's a little bit different depending on what type of business you have. So the fact that the majority of our listings come from referrals or repeat business, we don't really have a tremendous amount of objections. The two biggest ones are usually, I don't want to be homeless. How am I going to find a new home, right? I want to sell and I want to buy, but the challenge is finding the next home. And, or we're thinking about waiting. We're going to wait till spring, we're going to wait till summer, we're going to wait till the kids get out of school, we're going to wait until this or that or the other thing. Those are the two biggest ones. Where do I go from here? And I think yeah, so I have a very different perspective on objection handling. There's some really amazing salespeople in this room and great sales training. It's like, oh, close the deal 7 times. And I don't operate. If someone wants to wait, my approach is figuring out why, like really diving deeper into the motivation. And some people, it makes the most sense for them to wait. And I'm not going to tell someone, well, you should sell now because I want to make the sale. I don't think it's in their best. And I've lost some listings doing that, and I'm okay with that. My goal is to create a customized strategy plan as a consultant for a client that is going to be the best for them short term. If someone says, I want to wait, cool, let's create a long-term strategy, provide you all the resources, and let's help you accomplish your goal when the time is right. As far as finding the new house, again, it's diving deeper, but really figure out like, why do you truly want to this home? What is the time frame? And then working with our buyer specialist team to collaborate on that strategy. So it's not like overcoming the objection. It's finding the solution to that challenge that they expressed and then figuring out a strategy plan to help them accomplish.
As you're sharing that, I think about, when things get harder, there are people who are doing the work, and then there are people who are kind of hiding from the work, right? You can kind of turtle, like, oh, I don't want to get out there, it's terrible. When things open up a little bit, it will be very revealing to see who's been putting those plans together, because all of a sudden you're going to have a flood of business.
Well, like Jeff said, it's that long-term follow-up.
Right.
That's the building a relationship. It's not transactional for us. It never has been. It's building that relationship. And whether it takes them 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years, we are confident that 90% of people that we sit down with will end up this.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah, well, like Tony said, one of the perks of a majority repeat referral business is that, like, I'm pretty rarely in competition when I'm sitting down at a listing appointment. But every once in a while, you get the commission pushback. So something that I had a lot of success with over the past few years, and now I'm doing it differently because I'm doing 72 sold program. But last year and then the previous years, I would do a menu of services. I had like a bronze, silver, and gold marketing package at 3 different commission levels. And so it was like, which one do you want? And so like people never ask me for something off menu. Like they just picked the one that they want. And so when I started doing that, I didn't get commission pushback, which was really great. There had been times when I was in, like, because it happens sometimes I was in competition. And, I went to a lot of Jeff Glover trainings, Glover U trainings, and something that I really enjoyed from that was their pre-qualification script questions. So like being on the phone with the seller before you're at the appointment, find out if you're in competition before you get there, try to find out who you're in competition with, like ask them, maybe they'll tell you. And in those cases, I would then look up that person or team's MLS stats for the past year, print that out, compare it with my own, print that out. And my list to sale ratio and my days on market are really, really, really good. I'm very laser focused on them. I'm very proud of them. So I very rarely could I not tell a story that shows that I could do it better and faster, and then just show them that on paper. If you don't have those numbers, use office numbers.
Yeah, so here's one of the things I love is that stories sell, right? Data tell, and you're putting both together, you're doing the research on them, you know what is happening with them, so that you can bring data that will augment your situation, but then you're building that relationship with them and having a conversation. So it's a powerful combination.
There was a listing in particular, I think in 2020, where the seller called me and was like, actually, you know what, I'm gonna cancel our appointment, my girlfriend's agent is gonna do it.
So great.
Oh, who is that? And then I talked my way back into getting over there. They were gonna do it for less, but their list to sale ratio was pretty terrible. So I did the math, it's like, okay, well, if they're gonna give you this commission level and this is about what they're gonna get you, here's what you get. Or if you wanna pay me, what I'm worth, here's what I'll get you. And sure enough, they listed with me, and did I get them what what I told them I was going to get them? I did. And they were very happy. So do the math, show the math, like they can, at the end of the day, they just want to net the most money possible. So does it matter if they pay me more, if I'm still making them more than someone else would? Probably not.
Love that. Okay, so you won the listing, you're doing the transaction. Any differences this year than in years past? Or keep that business really?
Yeah, well, a couple things. So I merged my team with Level Up. So I had my own team for the past couple of years, lost my buyer specialist, had a choice in front of me where I could hire a new one or I could get creative. So I met with Dawn, we got creative. So now I have 3 admin and I have, what are we at, 5? 5 agents. So I have all the backup and support like I was always looking for, which is awesome. So I have more bandwidth now. And for my listings, I am running the 72 sold program as true to form as I possibly can, which means I am personally at every single showing at my listings. I have very, very happy sellers. They are never coming home and finding their house unlocked and all their lights on or a door wide open. They're coming home to a very secure home. They're getting instant feedback, getting some of the best offers I've ever seen on these houses. So I am betting on this happy feeling that they're feeling around me that's going to lead to some nice referrals.
And for those of you who don't have 5 admin and all of that, systems, systems and leverage. Okay, last round, 2 questions. Tony, we're gonna start with you. What opportunity are you finding in this market, and what advice would you share with someone who's struggling?
Okay, so opportunities in the market, understand that we have lost a lot of potential real estate clients due to interest rates. The buyers that had properties to sell, okay, when interest rates were like 3.5%, that was an incredible opportunity because you're going to represent on the buyer side and then help them sell. We've lost a ton of those people. They're going to hang tight because their current mortgage is at 3%. They don't want to be at 6%. So you have to stop just focusing on those opportunities of the traditional buy-sell transaction for client. There's a lot of people out there that are downsizing, okay? And investors or individuals that are transitioning into assisted living. People pass away. They have real estate sold. People get married and have to purchase new homes because of combining households or having babies. People relocate. Relocation's a big one. People get divorced. Maybe the diamond ring and the babies didn't work out so well. Now there's properties that need to be sold. Like these are investors that want to take advantage of the market conditions and they're ready to cash. So there's all of these opportunities for people that need to sell their properties that aren't just the traditional, we want to get a bigger home, we want to buy and sell. So you have to expand your mind a little bit because what you focus on expands, right? And so if you're only looking for a certain type of client and that is shrinking, you're going to have a hard time. Open it up. There's a lot of opportunity out there. So new opportunities, what was the other question?
Advice you have for somebody struggling?
A little bit. We're the Mind Right Realty Group. So our philosophy is that your thoughts determine your attitudes determine your actions determine your results. So it starts with mindset. We If you're not doing things every single day to improve your thoughts, your mindset, your attitude, doesn't matter what type of activity you're doing, you're not going to get the results. So take time for self-care, take whether it's morning meditation or gratitude journaling or reading good books or listening to good podcasts. Feed your mind and your body good, healthy things so that you can operate from a place of happiness and contribution, and you will see better results. Set your goals. Fundamentals, GPS, time block. Protect your time blocks like your life depends on it, because essentially it really does. Manage your energy, then your time. That's a big one for our team. And leverage, guys. Leverage. Focus title. Amazing transaction management services that any agent can build into their transactions. You don't have to have a full-time transaction manager on a team. You don't have to have 5 admins. You can use shared services provided from KW. You can find a part-time VA for like $800 to $900 a month. Stop spending 80% of your time on low-dollar activity like email management, calendar management, and all of this transaction coordination. That's time you should be spending on the phones, networking, connecting with clients, generating opportunities. So stop thinking you have to do it all. Even if you are in a tight budget, the return on investment is going to just blow your mind. It's going to be a game changer.
What opportunities are you finding in this market, and what advice? Sure. Well, the thing that makes me successful is what we kind of talked about at the start. That's staying in front of your sphere and your past clients and adding more and more value to their lives. Find some kind of training or coaching to plug into, because you got to stay sharp and you got to stay focused, and like Tony said, like filling your mind with things that keep you moving. I know for me, I spend like anywhere from 3 to 5 hours a week in trainings on a weekly basis, because I got to stay sharp, got to stay informed. What else? Well, just stay in touch over time, and like what Tony was saying too, like even if a piece of business isn't for right now, they might be ready in a year, they might be ready in 3 years, but if you stay in front of them to the point where they're not going to forget you, then you're going to have business for years to come. And I really wish I would have known about this the first 5 years of my career and done a better job of it, because I'd be farther ahead right now. Not that where I'm at isn't a good place to do it. Yes, but yeah, I mean, if you stay in front of the people you care about and the people that you have provided service for, then you're. I think you're
So the majority of the sellers right now are people that have to sell. I would say there's more people that have to sell than people like, you know what, I want a prettier house. So that would be like Tony said, like old people.
Old people.
Can't take care of their property. People, job transfers, divorces, all that good stuff, right? I've actually called my database. Yeah. I've actually, and that's how I word it, kind of like jokingly fun with my friends and family, is I have called the database asking if they know any old people that can't take care of their property. And I've gotten some listings from it. So it's just funny. It's for talk to the best clients and stuff. If that's your personality. Yeah. But I would say those are the opportunities that are selling for people who are struggling in the market. I bet the majority of the people in this room probably have more buyers than sellers. It's because I find that a lot of the maybe newer agents do a lot of open houses, which is great. It's great to find business. Or they get like realtor.com leads, which are buyer leads. So if you want more listings, you have to do more listing activity. Like I mentioned with the open house, you're doing that. But we incorporate a listing activity with it by door knocking, the neighboring. So anything that we could do to incorporate some kind of listing activity every day, whether it is on Spirit for Old People, expireds, door knocking, that's the way to do it. And so Joe and I have a goal to each hit 2 listing appointments a week by scheduling it. If we don't, we have to door knock on like 10 times. Which so if you want more listing activity.
The piggyback, like, you're talking about like people who are selling right now are people like job transfers and things, and like, oh yeah. The one my listing last week, job transfer,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, job transfer. Don't forget when you're in front of these people who are saying they have to move out of the area, that your very next question should be like, can I connect you with an agent
100%.
in that area? Because you gotta get that referral check.
Yeah, we've generated a tremendous amount of additional revenue from connecting clients or we work with 2 Keller Williams agents in different cities. It's awesome.
Well, and don't let that be a limiting belief as far as like people in your friends and family, if they don't live around here, like you're not contacting them, don't contact them. Like I've got a nice referral coming from Chicago, from a high school friend. They're not in the area, but we kept in touch and I connected them with a great PW agent down there and a check is coming their way later this month.
Simple question. $1,000.
Right.
$1,000 question. Okay, you guys, this is what I'm hearing from them. Be fabulously human, stay in touch on a regular basis, be an amazing professional. Oh my gosh, like if you unpack what you said, 36 touch, objection handling, navigating referrals, script practice, all of the things. You could dive deep into any one of those topics and have even more opportunities. This is a challenging market that is filled with opportunity. And I am not surprised that your names are also good. You guys just connect that part. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're gonna just finish up with a few things that we have here. These 3 will be around if you had a particular question. I know 72 Sold came up. We are working on putting a panel together for that in about 2 weeks, but I'm sure Lisa can share what her experience has been, and we'll share what that program is a little bit further down the road. But these guys are phenomenal colleagues of yours who are so great resources to manage things. All right, and I think the last key that we have here for a team meeting, right, is our training and events, right? So I'm gonna have Kathleen come up and do training and events along here with Kelly, just in terms of some of the opportunities in the office. If you guys heard something on the panel today and you want to learn more about marketing, 36 touch systems, lead gen, script practice, talk to these ladies in particular about how to plug in and where to get that kind of support.
Yeah, to echo that, I want the things on the training calendar that you guys want on the training calendar, right? So if you have an idea specifically and you would like to hold a training, please talk to me. Okay. Coming up, so here's an overview of April's calendar. This week, again, is spring break, so a little light this week, but I wanted to cover a couple of things that are coming up in the next week or so. First of all, there is a lunch and learn at the TOSA office on Tuesday, April 11th at 11:30 with Lindsay Bever, Staging Company Turnkey Stylings. She's going to go through how to stage a home on a budget. So if you're interested in that, you can RSVP over to Caitlin so we can make sure we have a good head count for lunch. But also on that day at noon here in this office, Chris was at our team meeting last week and she went through the process of these annual equity letters that she is sending out to her DTD2 database. And it helps drive and open up the conversation about potentially selling their homes. So we're actually going to workshop that with you guys on Tuesday, the 11th at noon. Since we don't have a team meeting, it'll just be the same time. So if you guys want the hands-on, like how do I actually implement this? That's what we'll be doing. Okay. And then Pizza Call Day is Wednesday, April 12th at 3 p.m. We'll have it up here in this training room as well. So this is a really great opportunity. Just kind of, if you aren't sure what to say on the phone, come hear from the people that do know what to say on the phone, right? And learn and repeat and implement. And then it's also kind of nice to be in a group and be able to share your wins with each other and have a slice of pizza, my favorite. So.
Calling all real estate agents in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area and Jackson, Wyoming. My name is Donnie Brookman from the Labs team of Keller Williams Realty International, and I'm so excited to be visiting Milwaukee on April 13th and Jackson, Wyoming on April 20th for the Overdrive event. My business partner, Matt Green, and I are going to be coming to you live in person to discuss the market of the moment in ways that you can thrive. We're going to be talking about common objections you're hearing from your buyers and sellers, lead generation tactics, overall strategies to help you have more time and more money. You do not want to miss this event on either April 13th in Milwaukee or April 20th in Jackson, Wyoming. We cannot wait to see you there. Calling all real estate agents in the Milwaukee.
So I did that in the other one too. So okay, so who is all registered to come to Shift into Overdrive? So if you're not registered, look at the room with people with their hands up. These are some of the top producers we have in this office that are going to go to this training. You should be there as well. Okay. We'll email out the registration again, so you guys have it one last time. Seats are filling up quickly. And how much does this cost? Free, right? You remember the commercial TurboTax, right? Free. So please make sure you're there. I can't, like, everything that we're gonna go over that morning is really gonna give you a lot of tips and tricks on how to get some business, right? And then at the end of the month, watch for this. We'll start sending more information on the registration out, but Glover is going to be here in Brookfield at the Sheraton again. And if you went last year, this is completely new content. Okay, so if you love Glover and want to hear what he has to say, this is all about ways to win this summer.
And it's about as close to free as you can get without being free. It's $30.
Not too far. And then we'll do some more on this one, but there is a free social media training at the end of the month as
All right, and then, guys, spring really is coming. Right, believe me. Red Day is obviously a thing in Keller Williams, big thing. We love it. Thursday, May 11. We have sites all around the area for people to participate in. We'll be sharing what those sites are. You'll be hearing from the founders. You have the opportunity to kind of plug in ways that make sense for you. We have 4 sites identified right now. If there's somebody, we can support a 5th. If there's somebody who has something on their heart that they would like to see a large team participate in, let me know and we will integrate it into the Red Day plans. And we'll be hearing more about this in the weeks to come. So super excited about Red Day. I think, yeah, we're gonna dive into coming soon. It's the other thing, just logistically, I want to share. We are closed this Friday. The leadership is getting time with their friends and family as we roll into the holiday season here for spring. You all have your fobs. You are welcome into the office anytime. And then there is no team meeting on Tuesday following. So dive into the training, the workshop that we have here, dive into some of what you need to do to lead generate for your business. And that's next week. Yeah. Anything else?
Covered everything.
All right. So any coming soons, excluded, listed, or buyer needs? Tony.
Got a condo in Rochester, 3-bed, 3 full baths, 1,662 square feet above grade. It's a newer construction. It was built in like 2018. Fully finished walkout basement, 2-car attached garage. We're gonna be listing on the MLS next week, Thursday, somewhere probably around like 460, 470. Sellers are willing to entertain off-market offers. We have a 3-bed, 2 full bath, 1,400 square foot bungalow, North Chicago Ave, South Milwaukee. It's a flip, so it'll be fully updated, renovated, move-in ready, 1.5 car detached garage. That's going to be launched later this month, but again, seller is willing to entertain off-market offers between the 260 to 270 range. North 22nd Street, 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,400 square foot colonial, 2-car detached garage. Going to be listing somewhere around 225, willing to entertain off-market opportunities. And then a 3-bed, 2 full bath, 1,200 square foot ranch on South 66th Street with a 4-car detached garage, finished basement, somewhere around 280 to 290. So let me know if any of those spark interest for you or your buyers.
Yeah, I have a one party opportunity. This is a Milwaukee Southside Ranch. It's a 3-bed, 1 bathroom, around 1,000 square foot above grade with a 1-car detached garage, nice finished basement that has like a common room and then 2 home offices, right across from Lions Park. And so if you have somebody who could be around 250, then come see me. We will, sellers would rather show it to a couple of people than the 80 people who will come if we list it.
Awesome, thanks. Ben.
I have a walk-shop condo. 2-bed, 2 bath. It is a 7th floor. However, it also has a basement. So and there is that basement. On the main living floor, 1331 square feet. So pretty nicely updated. The basement, the partial basement, and there's a 2-car detached garage.
Which complex is that?
Is North United.
A 3-bedroom, 2-bath Bayview, updated 3 years ago. And they just built a brand new 2.5 garage. It'd go for right around.
Do they have a fence?
Pardon?
Do they have a fence?
No, they have the lot line, the sidewalk in the house. Strap. No. Laundry on 2nd floor. Yes.
I have my first listing
Woohoo.
in Oak Creek. Sorry, 4-bedroom, 2 baths, 2,400 square feet, main floor laundry, and there is a bedroom floor. They added on above the garage and definitely full master suite. Good size basement. There was like just a.
Where
Oak
was it?
Creek.
Oak Creek, got it.
420.
All right, well, let's go get more.
Yeah.
You guys have a great afternoon.
It's some music.
Yeah.